Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Queenie. For those who don't know me, reviewing Married at First Sight season 10 episode 7 and 8. Sorry I wasn't here yesterday. I should have done it yesterday because there is so much to cover today. Before I get into it, please make sure to like the video, subscribe and hit the bell, and leave a comment down below. So we're starting off with the couples moving in together. Almost everybody, including Claire and Jesse, are doing pretty well adjusting to these close quarters, besides Bronte and Harrison.
I cried again. And you didn't come and see if I was okay.
You've essentially asked me for space, so you've imposed a boundary on our relationship. You can't ask for space and then hold that against the person that's respecting that boundary. It's amazing you've turned this entire thing into something about Bronte. Do you not, I'm also going through a lot of things at the moment.
So obviously Harrison has been in the wrong this entire marriage, and he buys a small cake, I guess in a way to make amends. But then here he is in the conversation with Bronte, basically I haven't done anything wrong, there's nothing to apologize for. Then why the cake? Why the cake? It wasn't because you were just thinking of her. I feel like he thought the cake would smooth things over and everything would be honky-dory. But the way this man has the ability to flip the script on her and essentially gaslight Bronte, because he's saying she doesn't put in the effort. How can he check in on her if she's the one who's established the boundary for needing space? And he's not being erratic and she's the one being irrational. Do not act like Bronte's being hysterical without cause. People like Harrison scare the life out of me because he truly believes he's the victim here, and he is sticking to that story. The experts announced that Confessions Week has begun, and the first task is the photo racking challenge. Tawny and Oliver, is it Oliver? No, Ollie. They did great.
I feel like it's giving sugar daddy vibes.
Okay. That's just...
It's not even discussion. You're not even on the set, there you go.
She's probably gonna go at the top. Number 1.
Tawny was obviously being cheeky about the challenge, but literally, this happens every year. Every year, the photo challenge comes up, and you would think, regardless of how you feel about your partner, you would think that couples are going to do the right thing and rank their partner, if not high, close to it, and stick to that decision. You know what I mean? So Tawny and Ollie did a great job. Sandy and Dan also followed suit. They got the memo. There was a couple that didn't quite catch the memo though, and that is Caitlin and Shannon.
This one here would impress your mates.
No.
What do you go to that? I like to know what I see first, and then I've always put emotion second. Their natural beauty shines more than yours.
I audibly gasped when he moved her picture. I was in disbelief. Yes, he put her near the top, but the way that he was describing the women that he put at the top, he reduced them to conquests, and then he put her at the top, which she was initially flattered by, but then moved her because he felt like her inner beauty wasn't as prevalent as those. Why would you fix your mouth to say that? And it's so funny because I remember when these two got married and I was talking about their bios before they were matched together, that his 7-year on and off engagement was going to be an issue. I feel like it does kind of show a lack of commitment for me. I know some of you guys did not agree, but that is completely fine. And so seeing the way that he's acted these last 2 episodes, I'm like, this makes complete sense if you ask me. Now, what took me by surprise was that he was the one who wasn't as attracted to her as she is to him, because I definitely thought she was going to have her hangups for him, but no, I was wrong. Alyssa and Duncan do the letter writing challenge where you're supposed to share something very vulnerable about yourself, and boy, did Alyssa drop a bomb.
I was the other woman, and I knew that he was a married man.
I did not expect that at all. That's extremely poor behaviour.
Yeah, I definitely don't think he took it that well.
Duncan is obviously gobsmacked, and he's been cheated on in the past and was very lost because of that situation. So of course, he needed some time to process what she was telling him. Basically, she said that the affair was 6 months long, and due to her sheltered upbringing, she believed him when he said things like the marriage was a marriage out of convenience. There was no love there. He was going to leave her. All the kind of stories that people who are trying to have an affair would tell you. I think whew, it was a lot. I think he handled it great. He, of course, wasn't quite listening to her in the first time that the conversation came up, but the next day when they had time to breathe and think about it, he did say, you know what, I understand where you're coming from. I'm not going to demonize you for it, and we're going to move forward as if that is in the past and we're leaving it there. You are a better man than me, Duncan. I mean, I'm not a man, but you know what I mean. Sandy and Dan also do the letter writing challenge, and Sandy, opens up about being ostracized for her culture and the food that she used to eat and how that's led her to build up walls as an adult.
Just being different and all that sort of thing, and
The judgment.
yeah, the judgment, not feeling accepted, it all ties back to that for me.
Just makes me feel more aware in terms of how I can show up better.
Well, I'm sure by now you've all seen the headlines, so the man is like, yeah, knowing this is now going to help me show up as a better partner. Obviously not. Obviously not. And I think, based on the videos I was seeing on the internet, the woman that Dan is now dating or seeing, I don't even know, is the woman who was at the wedding. Wow. Bronte and Harrison do the photo racking challenge, which obviously did not go well. And I thought it wasn't going to go well because Harrison was going to expose how much he does not find Bronte attractive, which is such BS. Like, we know he does. I don't know what's wrong with him. But basically, he just gaslights her the entire time.
European looking, dark hair, dark eyes, facial hair, like that's my vibe right here. I need somebody who's sensitive and empathetic and who wants to work through this, so.
Well, you're looking at him. My issue has never been that I'm not opening up to you, so don't go there.
Oh, it kind of is. I don't want you to feel abandoned. Like, I abandoned my...
I do feel that.
But that's not my intention.
I need Harrison to set up a course on how to play the victim, because boy, does he do it well. It literally reminds me of somebody who pokes the bear and then is shocked that the bear attacked them. Except in this case, the bear is apologizing to the poker. Bronte was sitting here really like, oh, I am going to try to do better. Bronte, you're not in the wrong. I don't know if it's like she really wants to make this work with Harrison specifically, or like, is it an esteem thing where like, I don't understand how Harrison managed to flip the script on Bronte and for Bronte to follow suit. Like, she's playing into his entire plan, and it frustrates me to the core. They skimmed through some other confessions. Basically, we had Cameron saying that his life outside of civilization has led to him not being able to find love, but he's ready to change. And then we also had Melissa and who's Melissa married to? Oh, Melinda, sorry. And Leighton having fears of commitment. Then we get to Jesse, and Jesse says that his past relationship, which was 7 years ago, is the reason why now he's so hesitant in pursuing relationships.
I was kept a secret for 2 entire years. I never met any of my ex's friends or family. And if I allowed my ex to keep me a secret for 2 years, you can take to the bank just how much I loved her.
It makes me really sad for him. I couldn't ever imagine feeling that way.
I don't want to make it sound like I'm not empathetic to the situation. Being in a relationship for multiple years where the person kept you a secret is like, that messes with your head. That's absolutely crazy, and it's unfortunate that that's something that he went through. However, it happened 7 years ago. And in this time, you did not take the time to work on yourself. So now you're lashing out at other people who have nothing to do with what happened in that relationship. Like, Claire has done nothing to you, and she's been at the brunt of his little temper tantrums. And I'm just like, you need therapy. You don't need Married at First Sight. For Caitlyn and Shannon, things go from bad to worse, because not only does he think that her natural beauty does not shine through like some other women in the process, he's not even thinking about any woman in the process because his mind is still with his ex-fiance.
Like, I seriously was coming into that like this. I wanted to break that cycle. And I just feel like I can't. I hate the fact that I say this, but I still love her.
Can I cry now? Like, is that okay?
I told you something about this man that gives me doesn't want to commit. That 7-year engagement on and off, that was never sitting well with me. Never sitting well with me. So now here you are in a process where you've involved another woman who has taken time out of her life. Well, okay, we do know some people do come on the show for a platform. A lot of people, actually. But regardless, she took time out of her life just for you to come turn around and say, I still love my ex. I want to be with my ex. And she has to overhear you talking to your ex, crying on the phone. And on top of that, they have a child to get. Leave him. Leave him. And anybody else who wants to be in a relationship with him, don't. He's got to work out his issues with his ex. Episode 8 starts with Jesse recounting a night out with the other castmates where Claire and Adam were getting very comfy cozy. And then at some point they left the bar together and he couldn't find her. And when he did, he assumes she was talking with Adam and it just turned into a blowout.
Bang out of order from him coming in here, you know, shirtless, trying to stand up to me, trying to see my phone.
He's very, he must be very insecure.
100%.
I'm not your possession. No one has anything to answer for other than Jesse. You stood over me, you were aggressive, you swore at me, and then you stormed out. Do you think, Jesse, that is normal behaviour? Answer my question.
Under the circumstances,
Do you think it is
yes.
normal behaviour?
Jesse says he was not aggressive in the way that Claire is describing and that he did not swear at her, but he decided to apologize and move out of their apartment. Now, I don't know what to believe because as I've been watching Claire, I see her keep putting, I see her putting in effort with Jesse, but I feel like she had checked out. And maybe she just sees him as a project rather than a partner. So I wouldn't be surprised if she had a wandering eye for somebody else and is trying to hide it, of course, because you don't want to be caught red-handed talking to somebody else who is not your partner. You know what I mean? So I don't know if I can fully say I don't believe what Jesse is saying. And you know that pains me to say. Very fitting of the episode, the next confessions task was to go through each other's phones. Duncan and Alyssa knocked it out the park.
My mother talking about some flowers that I bought my sister.
His phone was filled with really, really lovely messages. He's just an absolute gentleman. Is it love? I said, I'm definitely in like.
Feel a bit giddy, feel pretty good. And it makes me feel like we're on the same page and thinking about the same things.
Duncan, are you real? Are you real? When is the other shoe gonna drop? When is the bomb gonna explode? Like, this man is literal perfection. Perfection. Oh my gosh. Like, no, something has to happen. There's no way it's just smooth sailing with this man and he is just sculpted by Jesus Christ himself. Like, wow, I need a Duncan in my life. Janelle and Adam did not do as well, technically. Basically, Adam was just coming off the heels of being accused by Jesse for talking to his wife. So the phone rummaging challenge is obviously something he does not want to do.
Yeah. Maybe I'll show you my family chat and my bridesmaids chat. Yeah. And then maybe...
See, even then, I don't even want to see it.
I was surprised that Adam was really adamant that we don't look through each other's phone.
We don't need none of that shit in our relationship.
I really wanted to look at Adam's phone.
Janelle complied with Adam's decision not to go through with the challenge, but I'm just like, Janelle, you gave up too easy. You gave up too easy. And at some point he was saying things like, well, I'm not going to go through your phone because I trust you and I believe in you and whatever. And that's what led her to say, okay, well, I'm not going to do it either. No, ma'am. No. Go through that phone. Go through that phone. Especially with this man being accused of what he's accused of. And I'm sorry, having a history of cheating. I would go through that phone. I would go through that phone, especially if it's prompted by the experts. Let's see this process through, honey. You came here to do Married at First Sight. Let's do Married at First Sight. The last task is the first impressions task, where the couples sit down and watch what they thought about each other on their wedding day. And Lyndall and Cameron, they are just climbing up the ranks for me.
Absolutely mind-blowing. She's gorgeous. She had this massive smile that could lighten up a room.
Oh my God, we could be made for each other. He was beautiful. And I just hope we become each other's best friend. And yeah.
Literal perfection. Literal perfect. Like they are just so well suited for each other. If they don't work, I don't believe in love. If they don't work, I don't believe in love. If they are producer plants, I don't believe in love, because they're just so wholesome and it seems so pure and it seems so real. And I'm very invested, and I'm going to be devastated if it doesn't work out. I'm really going to be devastated. The last couple to go through most of the Confession Week stuff is Josh and Melissa. They're going through a lot. Okay. So first they did the letter writing challenge, where Josh opened up about being a shell of a man post divorce, and Melissa not really handling the situation with care. She actually brushed it under the rug and moved on to her confession. And then you had the first impressions exercise, where all Josh saw was Melissa fantasizing about having sex with him and what does his member look like and how good is he in the bed and all that kind of stuff. And his boiling point was at the future planning exercise.
You have sex as an extension of the way that you feel about someone. It's not what you put on a 5-year plan.
He knows how important that is to me, so I don't know why it was such a shock to him to see that in there.
I came here to meet someone. She did not come here to meet someone. She came here to just all the time.
Melissa is very disappointing. You know, I think she's the one who hasn't been in a relationship in 10 years. And she expressed that she's tired of not having that companionship, but companionship is more than sex. You're not going to have sex 24 hours a day. You have to connect with this person intellectually, emotionally. And so not making any attempts is just beyond me. I don't understand. Like, does she not want to try? Is there some kind of mental block? Does she have a wall that she doesn't want to let down? She doesn't like being vulnerable. Like, what is the reason, Melissa? What is the reason? Nobody wants to feel like they're just being objectified, especially by somebody that they see longevity with. And I feel like before this exercise, Josh had hope, but now he's feeling very diminished. And I feel for him. He's a really good guy, and Melissa is ruining it. And I don't know why. Anyways, that's all I have for you guys today. As always, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.